that's where all the confusion, fusion, whatever else kind of started. You know, we went to the laboratory. I don't know, I mean, I have to say, people tell me, fusion. Why, you know, you're doing fusion, you are like the godfather of fusion. I feel like that I'm, you know, I'm a lab rat or something. Fusion, there's no such thing. Fusion started 1,000 years ago. Did you know that? You didn't know that? Okay, I'll tell you. At the time of first invasions of the Islamic emperors, India was a land of Dhrupad Dhamar, one of the greatest form of music that ever is in India or anywhere else in the world. Dhrupad Dhamar, shlokas were being sung, Sanskrit was being honored. Bengali language has Sanskrit in it. I mean, Sanskrit was being honored. Dhrupad Dhamar was the language of the time, of music at that time. Then came the Muslim emperors, and they brought with them Sufis, who were very liberal-minded Muslims. They were not closed, they were not fanaticals. They believed in the oneness or the universality of humanity, that we are all one, that we have different names. Example, musicians are Sufis. Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab sang once Hari Om Tat Sat, a bhajan, and it became very popular at that time. So there was somebody who was interviewing him on the radio and said, Khan Sahab, you sang Hari Om Tat Sat, it became very popular, but you are a Muslim. How do you explain singing Hari Om? And he very simply said, Beta, ye to Khuda ka naam hai. It's a very important statement. He said it's the name of God. It's the name of Allah. Somebody is saying Hari, I understand that. So I will sing it with the same feeling that I would if I sang Allah. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm singing the name of God. So that is Sufism. That is an important thing to remember. And that's what we were. We are all Sufis. The universality was what was in. So the Sufis came and they were totally taken by this form of classical music, Dhrupad Dhamar. They thought it was amazing, something fabulous, that these Tero Suvarna Kare, I mean, this is a line of a Dhrupad. They're talking about God. Jamuna ke tir, tum rahat ho. I mean, we're talking about Lord Krishna. So it's Dhrupad. And the maestro sang Dhrupad, singing praises of Almighty, of the Spirit. The Sufis related to that. And they took their form of doing the same thing, which was in those days called Kaul Kalbana. In this part of the world, it was Dhrupad, Prabandh Gaiki, Haveli Sangeet. In the Islamic world, it was Kaul and Kalbana, which is now popularly known as Qawwali. Kaul and Kalbana. So the Sufis like Amir Khusru took those two forms and found a way to be able to integrate them, mix them, make them work together. And there emerged a new style eventually, 100 years down the road, from that mix called Khayal. We know what Khayal is, right? Khayal is the premier in North Indian classical music form now. It is a secular form. It arrived from those two elements coming together, right? So that's where the fusion began, way back when, if you want to call it fusion. I just call it a natural process of integration that takes place. It's a conversation that happens that allows us to be able to speak differently. We wear suits, but we eat macher jhol or chochori or posto. We do that, but we don't call that fusion. Why not? It is. We are sitting here, we are Indians, where we are speaking English. That's fusion. but we don't call it fusion. But we'll call it in music. If a South Indian mirdangam player plays with a North Indian sitar player, that's fusion. Why? It's a natural process. It's what the world is becoming. It's becoming small. In the corporate world, it's the same thing. We have taken marketing ideas, we have taken packaging ideas, we have taken assembly lining in this part of the world from all over the world, and we've created a very thriving production level in this part of the world to measure up to anything that the rest of the world has to offer, be it making chips, microchips or whatever, or writing programs, or assembling Toyotas or Mercedeses or whatever or anything. It's all fusion. It's all fusion. So it's not just related to music alone. So that's one thing that I want to wipe clean off the slate. And of course, the other thing is that I am really not the godfather of fusion. Ravi Shankarji started this long time ago. Before even him, Bollywood did this. Film industry in Bengal did it. They were using Western instruments and creating music for Indian films. That happened in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and so on. So the fusion was already, or whatever this was, taking place. It trained people like me to be able to go out in the world and work with musicians who are non-Indian musicians with the familiarity that was needed to be able to interact with them.